Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and the inventor of the CTKS method and BORSOG trading. If you're new, a very warm welcome and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin is currently down 0.27% to 21,622. Ethereum is up 1.58% to 1706. When we actually look through the crypto market like this, we're actually checking relative sector performance. Just as the stock market gets sector rotation, so too does crypto. Having a look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, we can see that the Fear Index has been spiking. We're seeing a lot more fear coming back into the market, and that's of course being witnessed by prices going down. We've been in a relative holding pattern for about 5 days. You've seen the price ping up and down, up and down. And what have we seen recently? What I want to draw your attention to is this first pullback line. We can see at the 25th of August, we actually dropped through that support line on heavy mass, heavy volume. And then we rebounded, creating a secondary support line. The thing to note is that we're under this first pullback line, which means although price is trying to make its way up, it's doing so with a lot of weakness. It doesn't mean it won't rally, but it's not a very strong signal. And we can see that Bitcoin is currently trading at 21,644. That's where it was approximately 4 days ago. The most effective way of thinking about it, we're underneath this resistance line, and we've got several resistance lines we need to bypass. We're just edging over the first resistance line, but we're getting rejected as well. It's kind of still holding pattern price behavior. Traders and investors are waiting on Jerome Powell at the Jackson Hole Symposium to give some forward guidance on interest rates. We're going to look into it in more depth as we go through, but we could have a couple of scenarios playing out. A first one is a for us. So if the price goes for us, we could expect some sort of zigzag kind of price action. What if it goes against us? We might expect a bit of a fake out before a breakdown, testing this $20,000 level and probably resuming through it. What if it goes nowhere? It just continues flat. It would probably range between this very tough level that it's at, around 21,600, down to the 21,133 level, just zigzagging in there. We know the price can do all sorts of things. It could rally up through this resistance and just take off, but it could also collapse down. That's the concept with crypto. It's incredibly volatile. Markets have been waiting for some direction, and we can see that there's a negative bias in the market at the moment. We could get a big move up or a big move down. It really depends on what happens at Jackson Hole. How are the major stock market indices dealing with it? These are the futures. On the Nasdaq 100, we can see them coming up. The S&P 500, they're coming up, but they're still under resistance. This is an important part to actually take note of. You often get retracements to a resistance level, then they can resume down. Just because we have price going up doesn't mean it's positive. Let's have a look at the Russell 2000. That's coming up as well. Just looking at the VIX has been coming down for quite some time. It sparked up recently, causing a sell-off in Bitcoin and also the S&P 500 and other major indices. So what do we anticipate is going to happen with the VIX? We often see this dramatic push down moments that the VIX gets. After that, we get a spiking up. Now, is it a thing that we're going to see just VIX falling off? That's the fear gauge. So fear will fall off. Or are we going to get a spike? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Looking across the major market, we can see the VIX just curling down at the moment, but it's still in an uptrend. And what does this do? When the VIX, the fear comes out of the market, prices come back. they come roaring back, and we've seen that technical bounce from that 12,847 level. That's a very strong level in the Nasdaq, and it bounced. Now, where is it going to bounce to? That is always the question. So we know that we've got resistance above. And why do we care about this? We're in crypto. Hey, crypto is independent from the stock market, isn't it? Not according to Rule 225. Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. If we look at bond prices, we can see bond prices have actually done a technical bounce off that level of support. We talked about this for the past couple of episodes. We thought this would be an absolute probability. Because why? Price moves in waves. It doesn't go straight up and it doesn't come straight down. And what do we see with the yields? They're getting rejected from this resistance level, but they have support below at the 2,984 mark. And what do we see with gold? Gold did a technical bounce, just like we thought it would do. And what about the dollar? The dollar is currently consolidating around a very key structural support level of 108,448. And what do we see with oil? Oil had actually come up, hit that resistance line, and now it's meandering about it. It's a key resistance line at 185. You can see how important these lines are. If you know where your lines are, you're going to know where the money is. And let's have a look at junk bonds. We've had a bit of a kick up in junk bonds, but they're still below resistance. We've got an initial passing of resistance here, but the first initial passing is generally a fake out. And Masterclass students, you'll get my live charts in TM6. So what is this telling us? It's telling us basically there's a lot of fear in the market, and that fear is just receding at the moment because prices and emotions move in waves. We've hit key support levels inside the market and key resistance levels inside the market as well. This is what happens when price goes up and down. It goes up and down because of support and resistance levels. What is a major driving force behind the stock market's concern at the moment? And of course, the stock market's concern is our concern in crypto. If we don't get concerned over the stock market, we'll get concerned over the loss of value. That results from us not looking through the markets and treating them all as one, because they literally are all one market. They just do different things. We can see the probability of a Fed increase in the federal funds rate is 60.5%. It was 61% yesterday, so it's a slight decrease, which is actually why the fear is coming down. And if we look at the 39.5% probability of a 50 basis point increase, that's slightly up, just 0.5% from yesterday's 39%. Now, this may sound fantastic, but if we go back 1 week, the chance of a 75 basis point increase in the federal funds rate was actually 41%. Now it's 60.5%. The higher the cost of borrowing and the higher the interbank rate between banks in the overnight market, what we see is the cost will get passed through to consumers in terms of increased debt service costs and increased interest rates on debt for both business and personal reasons. So it's not good. If I was to time travel and get inside Jerome Powell's head, I would look at this chart and say we need to go for 75, even 100 basis point increase. Why would I say that? Ken, why would you say that? Because the 10-year break-even inflation rate and the 5-year break-even inflation rate are going parabolic. And this is a big problem. This means inflation isn't under control. The Fed and central banks all around the world are going to have to hit inflation really, really hard. And a lot of people in the market are just not going to see it. Markets don't like surprises. And what do we see? Where are we looking at from a global perspective? Masterclass students, you'll get a deep dive and this chart in LV19. We can see the Nasdaq is just wavering around this particular resistance level. It doesn't mean it can get through it and stay there. I'll just get rid of Bitcoin to show you a little bit more clearly. The last time we came up to resistance, we got a bounce back, a retest, and a resumption off. And then we headed for resistance, pushed through it, have come back. This is a really critical time, and it's actually happening right at the time that Jerome Powell will be talking about his decision on interest rates as well. And when we look at this particular pattern of the Nasdaq, this particular pattern of the S&P 500, of the Dow, Taiwan's index, Japan's index, the Russell 2000, Australia's index, Germany's index, Russia's index, the UK's index, and poor old China's not doing too well at the moment. But the concept is all markets globally are exhibiting the same basic patterns. So what could actually happen from here if we map out the past 9 sell-offs and recoveries in the S&P 500 since 1966, and we're looking at current price action, which is this white line? Where are we going? Where are we going, stock market? If we get the Fed aggressively pushing interest rates up, we could move into the kind of red line here, and this was the subprime mortgage crisis which created the global financial crisis, and that brought markets down heavily. But always remember, trading is getting in and out, timing your positions. You can always make a lot of money on these particular pullbacks. And some of the greatest investors in the world have always said, buy when there's blood in the streets. But the best way to buy is not to have your blood in the street, but to get in front of things. A lot of investors and traders think that they need to be in the market 24/7. They just have to be fully invested. They have to extract every bottom, every top. Don't worry about tops and bottoms. Just worry about guarding your capital. We're in a negatively biased market at the moment that's been hit by so many black swans all over the place, especially in crypto. You must guard your capital now. So even if the markets take a little bit of time to figure out what they're doing, and they will take time and they will figure it out, we can just be on the right side of the percentage. We don't care about being on the right side of the trade. If we're on the right side of the percentage, we're going to do really, really well. As a community, we focus on active learning. It's just because we've got a high correlation between the GFC and current price action doesn't mean we're going there. It doesn't mean that's a pre-drawn conclusion. The markets can do whatever the markets want to do. We could actually go up, for example, here, like this, or up here. There's a large number of possibilities that exist in the market at all times. And what we do as crypto technical analysts, we have a very scientific process. I've been in financial markets for more than 3 decades. There's a very deliberate and concise scientific process that you need to go through. You need to mark up your charts with the CTKS method. You need to globalize your knowledge, looking and collecting probabilities like a really good detective. Come back inside the crypto market and find the market's focus. Because if you don't look beyond the charts that you're trading, you'll get sucked into narratives, especially Main Street narratives, and they don't actually do things for you. You need to look at the charts, but you need to look at all of them. Enhancing your pattern recognition is really, really critical. And if you're in the stock market and you're not even interested in crypto, you must pay attention to Bitcoin's price. Bitcoin is the most volatile asset class on the planet. It will predict potential turnarounds in the major indices. Very, very powerful stuff. As an investor or a trader, no matter what you're investing or trading in, you must have a positive excellence mindset. Why must you? Because we need to master emotional control. If we don't master our emotions will master us, as somebody very wise said in the comments. And a lot of people are slaves to their emotions when it comes to putting their cold hard cash on the line. And it can be very, very frightening. You have to combat self-doubt and self-sabotage in the market. The only way to do that is through positive excellence. I've been in the markets for so long. This is the most important thing you'll ever do. Only after you've gone through these 4 phases do you even consider buying and selling. When people are new to financial markets, they just want to buy and sell. They say, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm hoping I'm going to figure it out. I'll get lucky. It's just like a casino. And the house always wins. No, the house always loses. I'm going to make millions. Hang on a sec. I'm gambling. The house always wins. Oh, I know. I need an indicator. If I get an indicator, magical, mythical indicator, or maybe I'll get 2 of them or 3 of them, and they'll all fight with each other. You can see this is the path that money follows. What you actually need to do, you need to know the knowledge. You have to have the understanding. There is no shortcut to success. If you try to shortcut your way to financial freedom, you'll actually lose money. And this is a horrible thing that so many people find out. And it takes years to find this out. I'm trying to short circuit all of that and give you what I've actually learned over many, many decades. And it's in the masterclass. One thing that you may like to just bear in mind, that key structural support level of 108,448 in the dollar currency index, the DXY, is absolutely critical. If the dollar holds on to this level, the next resistance is at 110,689. Do you notice how I use exact precision? 110. I don't say $110. I say 110,689. Because you need exact precision in financial markets. There's a lot of headway up for the dollar between 114,631 and 118,573. This particular area will be hard for the dollar to get through, but just bear in mind, it may come back to support and then just rally through, and it's going to waver around these areas. It's going to be tough for it to get through, but it may well get through there. It's not a law and it's not a rule, but generally you can consider when the dollar goes up, it's like a stable coin in crypto. It's a flight to safety. People are getting out of their beloved alts and saying, whoa, that hurt. Those losses hurt. I'm just going to park it here for a while until the market settles down. And if you look at the price of Bitcoin and look at the dollar, they're quite inverted on each other, but it's not a law and it's not a rule. Sometimes the dollar and Bitcoin will move together, and the dollar and the stock market will move together as well. Beware of very simplistic rules. Those simplistic rules, just like indicators, will burn you. We can also see, because of the increase in the junk bonds and general risk-on appetite inside the markets, the metals have been coming up. And masterclass students, you'll get this live chart and a deep explanation in TR23. One critical thing that we need to be aware of are the shorts and the longs. We can see the shorts have been sort of treading water and the longs have been treading water as well. There's a lot of indecision. People are waiting on Jerome Powell to say, what are you going to do with interest rates? And what do we see throughout the market? I would predict that interest rates will be tackled aggressively. That means the federal funds rate will be added to not 75 basis points, probably 100 basis points. And I think very, very few people in the market would even consider that a possibility, but I consider it a statistical probability. The masterclass's focus is knowledge transfer, and I want you to be independent of the news, especially of the news. The news is not there. It doesn't serve you. It serves advertisers. When we look at the past 24 hours of liquidations, we've got 84.11 million in liquidations across 33,059 positions. And when we look at total liquidations over 24 hours, about 57% of those liquidations have been short liquidations. What about the past 12 hours? 53% long. It flipped the other way. What about the past 4 hours? Nearly 70% short. Flipped the other way again. And the past hour? Whoa, ay caramba! Nearly 86% long. What do you see here? Well, you can actually tell when it comes to this figure, you've got a very, very undecided market. And what do undecided markets do? They basically drift flat. But we can see that we've had a better reaction than the one that we had back here, because there was about $1 billion, well over $1 billion worth of liquidations, both long and short. And when we compare it to this, it's significantly less. And the following days of liquidation were far, far greater. And what have we seen? Basically no commitment whatsoever. This means we must have an ANF strategy played out and planned out as well. What is your ANF strategy? And that's a really good thing to talk about in the comments as well. What we first think about is if price goes against us, goes nowhere, or goes for us, what would it look like and what are the probabilities? We know that we control the trade, but the market controls the return. If the market sells off, it's not personal because the market doesn't know you. It never will. It doesn't know any of us. Please let me know in the comments, what is your BORSOG code for today? Do you think it's going down, going flat, or going up? What is the percentage that it could move against you, move just neutrally, or move for you? And how synchronized do you feel inside the market at the moment? And for a lot of people, there's massive amounts of indecision. They're just not synchronized at all. And that's completely fine. To not be synchronized in with the market is actually something that you should pay a lot of attention to. It potentially means there's a turn coming in the market. Looking at the crypto market, the total global crypto market cap has increased by 0.19% to $1.04 trillion. The greatest gainers over the past 24 hours, SHIB up in front, 5.31%, Aave 4.3%, Yearn Finance nearly 4%, Stacks 3.9% up, EGLD 3.24% up. Leading up the back of the pack with the greatest losers, LDO down 9.32%, Chili's 7.5% down, Helium 4.8% down, USDN 3.94% down, Synthetics 3.7% down. When you see something like a stable coin, you've got to be a little bit careful. When these vary too much from their peg, it means their ecosystem is under duress. Let's have a look through the top alts. And what we're seeing here is what we're observing is the relationship between price and Bitcoin's gravity. This is very, very vital if you enhance your pattern recognition skill. And from what I know, we're the only community that talks about pattern recognition. Looking at this, the gravitational bias of Bitcoin, you can see when Bitcoin comes down, all of your beloved alts will come down. You can see it playing out again and again. Sometimes they will actually sell off before and spike after, which is also pretty interesting. Cryptos continually synchronize and desynchronize with Bitcoin's gravity. I develop BORSOG trading because I want you to be able to synchronize and scale in. This is what professionals do. Many times professionals will feel desynchronized with the market. They'll descale their positions. You can't be always synchronized in with the market. If you feel that you are 100% synchronized in with the market at all times, that's just a fantasy. The key is to just keep your eye on what is happening. When you feel synchronized, you can hit the particular cryptos very hard, but start with small position sizes and then scale when synchronization is reached. And if you desynchronize, just descale. This is all about your trading bag, if you like. If you're an investor, a long-term investor, please put a percentage of your funds into trading. And why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just invest? Because if we're looking at turbulence coming through for the next couple of years, it's going to be a trader's market. Also, if it's not going to go that way, if everything is fantastic, trading will help you to synchronize in with the market and do your dollar cost averaging at a level that you could never conceive of previously. It's very important to fight self-doubt and self-sabotage. Where does self-doubt and self-sabotage come from? They come from fear. How do you combat fear? How do you rid your life of fear and anxiety? By embracing positive excellence. How do you do that? You understand that success, all the things that go with success, money, prestige, fame, fortune, all of those things are a result of bringing your best self to the game every single day. In life, it's your persistence and commitment that will be rewarded. But if you are unkind to people, if you're selfish and you just want to push people around, that will come back at you because it will create a lack of inner peace and outer peace, which will actually erode happiness. And many people are taught to do that. If you think about the financial films out there, like Wall Street, Gordon Gekko type people, they kill, crush, and destroy everything and everyone in their path. They're morons. And you say, Ken, that's a bit harsh. They're not morons. That's what we're taught. It's all competitive. We must crush the opposition. How dumb. How dumb it is to live in a world where we think we have to crush others to get what we want. Where does that come from? It comes from scarcity. Positive excellence is all about abundance. If you think from an abundance mindset, you can have integrity, you can have decency. What is integrity? It's just doing the right thing when nobody is looking, having other people's best interests at heart. How can anybody have somebody else's best interests at heart when they're competing against them? They can't. If you come from an abundance mindset, you can. Decency, that's just doing the right thing as well. Kindness is actually valuing others. So many people are unkind and they don't even know it because they're always competing. They're always trying to dominate. They're always trying to control and push people around. If we just simply understand that there is a massive amount of abundance, and if you sing your own tune, and that's why you're here in this world, to sing your song that only you can sing, you can move into inner peace and outer peace. You can be grateful and find happiness, fulfillment and meaning in life whilst you are becoming hugely successful. And of course, the world wants that for you. In our community, we're all about a positive excellence life trend. We understand that life, just like crypto and the markets, they don't move in a straight line. We're always going up and down. We hit resistance, we get a setback, but we hit support and we get a promotion if we do the right thing. And what happens? We go, this is a strength axis. We go stronger and stronger through life. The more that happens to us, having a pullback is not a problem because those pullbacks will strengthen us and they strengthen everybody around us as well. And what is your purpose and destiny? It's to spread kindness, empathy and care, contribution and sharing. Thinking about this, a lot of people would just cringe at this concept. Ken, you got to be on some sort of smoking something, you know, kindness and empathy. Nobody ever showed me kindness and empathy. Nobody ever cared for me. And do you want to do that to other people if that's the fact, or do you want to give what you never got? And how do we combat self-doubt and self-sabotage? Because this is where the competitive mindset comes from. Competition is actually a disease. It's not a good thing. A lot of people think that we need to compete. If you're a true competitor, you're only competing against yourself. You're never competing against others. You're competing to do the best job that you can possibly do, not to win over another. Others don't even factor on your radar. Only positive excellence and bringing your best self to the game every day matters. So that's why we have the CTKS Creed. This primes us for a beautiful life. These are a series of positive affirmations that you just say for yourself with a lot of meaning because they're true. I know the universe wants me to succeed. Every day I show kindness, integrity, and gratitude, and that avoids the competitive mindset. I know opportunities and life reset daily. That gets you out of pullbacks. I am worthy, I go slow to go fast. That's all about laying the right foundations. I start small and scale with BORSOG. That's all about not going all in. Life pullbacks give me the strength for the next life rally. That's about a positive excellence life trend. I am dedicated and committed. I win or learn and never blame. These things are things that, these positive affirmations are affirmations that you can run your life from. They're incredibly valuable because they'll make you happy. And what else is there? Please let me know in the comments, what do you think about competition versus abundance? As you can see, from time to time I get pretty passionate, and the reason and logic for that is because I want to save you decades of learning. Unfortunately, our school system and our workplaces don't equip us with the actual skills that we need to have a happy and meaningful life, and also an abundant one. That's why I talk about things like positive excellence. Please consider sharing and liking this video, and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as a part of our globally extended KS family. If you have friends or family who could benefit from positive excellence and what we do each and every day, please introduce them to our community by sharing a video. We'd love to see them here. We have one of the best communities on YouTube. Thank you to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. And please note, I don't have WhatsApp or Telegram. Don't get sucked in by people saying, "Call me on WhatsApp." Don't make the call. Thank you also to the CTKS ambassadors for assisting Masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global family. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care, and see you next time. Bye for now.